Series 3. Now, I did kind of put this list together pretty quickly, but I still do feel pretty comfortable in my rankings for my personal gain, basically. But there's a few hot takes in there. That's okay. I think that's one of the best thing about ranking videos or tier videos or whatever you want to call them, is it's custom catered to you, and it sparks some interest. It sparks some hate, which is kind of fun to do when you talk about ranking videos. But some of these I've only played once, so that's kind of why I'm not judging them as best as I could. Well, I should say there's only one that I've only played once, and I actually think it's a pretty fan favorite of people's, so that should be interesting. But yeah, let's start some heat. Let's start some debate. I think in my number 16, in my last place, Frightmare on Maple Lane. Now this one to me, it literally is just the whole boiler room. I do not like the boiler room. It almost makes me not want to go to sleep in the game, and I know I have to, but I just don't enjoy the whole boiler room mechanic, sliding the cards. Oops, I just revealed he's not in that way. Then I know to go that way. Oh, I just revealed he's in that space. Okay, I know. It's very clunky to me, and it's really, you have to be exactly precise, and some people like that aspect of it. And you know what? Good for you. If you like Frightmare on Maple Lane, good for you. It just wasn't technically for me. Even though I'm a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan, Dr. Fright's character I really enjoy. It's just, the boiler room mechanic to me makes it really, I almost dread to play it because of the boiler room mechanic alone, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. Next we have what I feel is the starter set for Series 3. Now I know some people say, well, obviously Camp Happy Trails is the starter for Series 1, and Once Upon a Moon is the starter for Series 2. Most people don't think there's a starter for Series 3, and I kind of agree until I played this one feature film, and I'm like, you know what? I have a feeling, and maybe it was just because the cards have been dealt. However, I've played this one 5 times, and I've beaten it every single time within 30 minutes. It doesn't even come close to me, and that is Hell to Pay. I don't know. I really think Razorface himself is just kind of underwhelming as an actual killer. He doesn't really do much. I know the Purging the Afflictions is the main, to me, is the hardest element of this game. But if you really focus on Purging the Afflictions pretty quickly, I know there's an affliction, I can't remember what it says, but you literally can't do it until like late game, which is great. That extends the game, that puts some stress on you. But even then, I just don't know. Hell to Pay and Razorface just doesn't really quite give me that adrenaline rush that the others do, and that's totally fine. That's just the way that one is designed, and sometimes you just need a relaxing feature film to do. You're end of the day, come home from work. You don't want a lot of stress. You don't want to read a lot in the rule book, because some of these, like, let's face it, some of them are like front and back. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot to remember. It's a lot to understand. Hell to Pay to me, that's why to me it's the starter, because it's really not that complicated to learn. The map, the changing tiles, I actually love. I love the map. Hellscape to me, I want to try it on every killer because I love the map. It adds a whole new strategy element instead of just, yes, I can go to this location. There's a victim there. I can for sure get there. You're not guaranteed anything on that map, and I love that element. It's just Razorface. I don't know, just underwhelming. Then at number 14, we've got The Haunting of Creech Manor. Now, I know a lot of people like this one. Some people hate this one. To me, it's just either really quick or really long. And I personally hate when you're tied to doing only one thing in terms of... Now, this one you search a lot for. You search. Sometimes you search and boom, Carolyn's right there. And you're like, yes. All right, let's go. GG's, it's over. Other times you search until the last final card in some of the search piles, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been playing for like 50 minutes. Let's get going. 50 minutes is not a long gameplay. I should say like an hour and a half, but if it's taking you an hour and a half and you haven't been killed yet, you're really good at evading the killer. But, sorry if you guys hear some noises. We got my puppy a new toy, and he's gone crazy for it, so. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's just when you're tied down to doing only one thing, and I think the search element to me is not fun when you're just focused on searching. I don't know. And 13 is the Slaughter at the Groves. Now, I'm split 50-50 on this one because I enjoy playing it when I am, but I know that I'm going to die. And that's probably why I'm split 50-50, is because I keep coming back to it because you're so determined to beat this one. This one, to me, you want to beat it so bad. And you lose so many times, you're just like, I am determined to make this my goal. I'm going to beat the Inkinyamba at the Sacred Groves. Now, I am fully under the impression that the Sacred Groves itself is the only reason Inkinyamba is tough. I played Inkinyamba at... Where did I play Inkinyamba at? I can't remember. But I beat him. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So he is beatable. Yes, he himself is beatable. Him on Sacred Groves might be a different story. So, yeah, Sacred Groves to me is why that one's a struggle. But it's, you gotta beat him. You gotta keep playing it because you gotta beat him. And then once I do beat him, I know it's gonna be such a great feeling. But we're not there yet. It's okay. Next, we have Once Upon a Full Moon. Now, when I do play this one, I very much enjoy it. And as I started to make this list, I had a feeling I was actually going to put Storybook Woods, or Once Upon a Full Moon, that's the map. Top 7, I can't think of anything else that I like more than it, because when I play it, I really, really enjoy it. The map is awesome. Let me actually demonstrate the map really fast, as I'm colorblind. So some of the map's locations where each location is circled, it's hard for me to see the colors of the lines. Now this one, it's very easy to see. I can see where every single location is very, very clearly. That's the same with Utopia, and I'll talk about Utopia in a little bit. I absolutely love Utopia's map for that reason alone. But as I started making the list, I'm like, you know what? He's pretty basic, and we all know he's very, very basic. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I like this one more. I like this one more. I like this one more, and that's totally fine. Once Upon a Full Moon. I love the slaughter, the track, and then the hunt mode. I think that's super cool. Starts out as like just kind of like stalking you, and then he'll pounce on you, which is pretty fun. This might be my biggest hot take. At 11, and this is the one I've only played once, so bear with me. I have a feeling I love everything about it, but I've only played it once, so I can't judge it too harshly. But that's Madness in the Dark. Now, I know this is like most people's top 5. Everyone loves Madness in the Dark. And playing it, I did. I really, really enjoyed it. That's why I know it's going to go higher on my list. But I've only got one gameplay to go off of. And that's what we're going off of. There's just the one gameplay. The whole pill mechanic that boosts you up, that hinder you. That whole aspect is very fun. There's so much to do in this. It's really fun to watch the Ratchet Lady get beefed up, and you gotta like kill her 50 to 20 health. You know, it's fun to watch her get super, super strong, and you plan ways to get her down. It's enjoyable. I really enjoyed it, but I'm going off of one gameplay. I did win in the gameplay, but yes, I have a feeling it's gonna go pretty low into my list. But until then, it's standing at, I think, 11. 11. Now we're getting to the top 10. I think this is most people's, like, bottom end. But I really enjoy Carnage at the Carnival. I think the one that really drew me into this one was one I'm a big clown guy. I think clowns are awesome. Even though he's not really a clown, he's a puppet master. He gives me that kind of clown circusy vibe, which I absolutely love. Also, when I first saw this, and I may be crazy, but Asami, to me, looks exactly like, if you guys have seen Squid Games, I think it was 67, player 67, Kong Se-byuk. She was there to the end. She obviously got killed by one of the players. If that's a spoiler, I'm very sorry, but the series has been out for years, so if you haven't seen Squid Game, what have you been doing? But to me, this looks like player 67, like to a T. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I like player 67 in Squid Game. She's a really cool, very well written character. I'm like, yeah. Now Asami in the game, She doesn't really do anything, but it's okay. Not every final girl can be overpowered. But the cards I do enjoy. I like the whole puppet thing. It's kind of funky in some elements because there are some ways that the puppets could puppets could get out of more than two spaces, and you gotta kind of have to figure it out. But then that's where the rules of ambiguity. Wow, why am I blanking on this word? Ambiguity. That's the word. I don't know why I was struggling with that. That's why they have that rule to cater to the player and the way the player wants to kind of play it. And I think that's great. And I like the map. The only thing I don't, and that's kind of another search element that takes away that search element. So kind of similar to Haunting Creech Manor, where you're searching. This, you don't want to search because there's those trap items. And you don't want to find the trap items. So it takes away the element of searching. So you can make a case for that being towards the bottom of the list too. Because it does take away the whole search element, almost. Unless you're really risking, like, I gotta have that item, I'm willing to risk it for a trap. And now we're gonna get into the classic Camp Happy Trails. I think if you're making a tier list, this has to be at least in the top 10. I think this probably would have made top 5 if Series 3 never came out, but not gonna lie, I had so much fun with Series 3 that I literally have 4 out of the 5 in my top 10. Series 3 to me was phenomenal. I think they hit it out of the park in terms of elements of gameplay, killers, just nuts. Absolutely phenomenal. Camp Happy Trails to me is Final Girl. I mean, this is literally the bread and butter. You've got a girl at a campsite, a killer, a crazed slasher killer after everyone who's gonna try to kill everyone. It doesn't get more cinematic than Camp Happy Trails. Hans the Butcher is a great introductory killer, and I think you could really make Hans terrifying as heck, like Sacred Groves. There's some maps that I think he would really flourish on, and you could make Hans the Butcher into a very blood-crazed killer pretty quickly, which is, I mean, Camp Happy Trails, it's the pinnacle of Final Girl. That's what when we think of Final Girl, and when we think of horror, that's, to me, is kind of how it stems. This one, to me, at number, 8? 8. Is a great one, and that is the North Pole Nightmare. I love everything about this, to be honest. The whole Christmassy vibe, having Mrs. Claus as a final girl that you can turn into an absolute beefcake, where she has no maximum health once you save all the necessary victims, and you can just beef her out. And she's got like the treetop star, her rolling pin. She's got some awesome items. I think this is absolutely phenomenal how the victims are elves and how Krampus drops little gifts that you can open, or elves, they're very pesky people. They want to open those gifts too. I think it's really interesting. I love this one. I am still yet to lose. Now, I do know this is labeled one of the harder ones. And the first time I played it, I'm like, okay, I won, but I do know that I misplayed. There were some rules that I wasn't abiding by, so I wanted to do it again. And I won again. I'm like, okay, wait. Did it again. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just built for this one. Maybe it's because I'm using Mrs. Claus and it's easy to be for. I don't know. But, yes, I am yet to lose at it, but I think Krampus, I love the design of Krampus, very folklore type. Also, put in the comments how you guys pronounce his name. Whether you pronounce it Krampus or Krampus. I'm interested, because I've heard it both ways. I know Krampus is more technical, but that's all right. And now at number 7, I did not think I was going to enjoy this one as much as I did. Like in any respect. That's The Killer from Tomorrow. I have no tie-in with the Terminator movies. This itself has made me want to go watch the Terminator movies. Now, I do know that this one is based off of Terminator 2, Judgment Day. So I did go and watch. Oh, there goes my dog moving the camera. So I did go and watch Judgment Day. And yeah, it almost adds like more flavor to it. There's so much about this that you need to like try to keep up with, whereas the walls can break when victims get thrown through it. When you get through, you can get thrown through the walls, so it can go through those walls. The whole jumping down to the food court thing, the element of the Mark V and the Mark X to me is insane. The Savior, to me, the couple times I played him were not as hindrance as I thought. Now, I know a lot of people struggle with the Savior because it's really hard to build up his trust, and then when his trust gets depleted, you're like, oh my gosh, wait. He's a total loser. But, to me, you just gotta kind of focus, like the first start of the game, you gotta focus on building the trust of the Savior. Because once you build the trust of the Savior, then you can manipulate and move him. You can move him around the board, but if you ever get to a point where the Mark 5 or Mark 10 is after you, or I should say the Savior, because he's going for the Savior, and you can't move the Savior, then it's game over. Like he can only take like 1 damage or 1 hit before he's down. I mean, it's 4 health. If the Mark 10 is out, yeah, he can only take 1 hit before he's gone. And but having the Mark 5 that you can like rebuild, like use as your own ally. I love this. I actually love this chapter. The fact that you have the Savior as an ally you can use, and the Mark 5 as an ally that you can use, and you can control Final Girl, and you can control those two. I think it's beautiful. I don't want to say like beautiful because that sounds really weird and geeky, but I did not expect to enjoy this one, and I even thought about putting this in my top 5. Like when I was like making this list, I'm like, yeah, it's like top 3. I think this one was phenomenal. I love the gameplay. It was insane. Now, very first time I did play this, I did win. And I am almost 100% positive I played the rules very, very correctly. So I'm pretty proud of myself for winning because I do know this one is like the new Inkinyamba, basically. And I absolutely feel like it can be. You just got to focus on the Savior. The Savior is key to winning. And if you can start moving the Savior and using the Savior, then that's where you have a better shot of winning that one. But if you don't focus on the Savior as much, and like, yeah, maybe every like 3 turns I'll try to build trust. Nah, get that trust up as quick as you can. Because why not, right? Now we're going to get into another one that surprisingly enough, I am yet to win at. Now, I didn't expect it to be this difficult, and I still don't think that this one's actually really difficult. Like, as I was like reading the rules, I'm like, okay, maybe this one will be the base game or the starter game for Series 3. And that's Don't Make a Sound. There's so many things that I love about this chapter. One, the IP of the movie, it's kind of based off of A Quiet Place. I love A Quiet Place franchise. Secondly is the illustration, the artwork. It's very, very cartoon, and I guess I did find out that the artist for this is a cartoon artist, or not a cartoon, a comic artist. Well, you can totally tell. And the artwork is absolutely beautiful. The finale cards, the Dark Power cards are insane. This is definitely, I will fight to the end to say that this is the best artwork in the entire Final Girl franchise. I don't know. It's definitely a taste thing. Like if you're not into comics, you might not like the artwork as much. Me? Nah. This is the best artwork in the game, and not just the maps and stuff. Like I said, the finale cards, the Dark Power cards. Also, we talked about it. The map. You can see clearly as a colorblind person. I can see every single location distinctly. Yes, that one is adjacent. No, that one is not adjacent. I can see everything about it, and that to me is great. And now, also, I love the sound element. When you play cards, you have sound. When you play items, there's sound involved. There are going to be louder sounds. There's going to be quieter sounds. There's more strategy to be involved. And then there's the sandworms, or the sand snakes. I can't remember which they are. Those are honestly the main reason that I think I lose. It's because they pop out, they kill victims, bloodlust goes up, bloodlust goes up, bloodlust goes up. And they finally get you, and you're like, holy cow. The sandworms, to me, are the hardest part of this element. So you almost have to like have a guard or something prepared for you. I didn't realize that the first couple times I played it through. So we'll say Megan is one of my favorite Final Girls to play as. I think again the artwork on her is just insane. I don't know. The power's not the most insane power by any means, but the artwork is great. Now we officially get into my top 5. And if you've been doing some math and some addition by subtraction, you know what could be in this top 5. Now we're going to start off with one that I was most stoked about this one for Series 3. And that is the Merrick Murder. I am a huge, huge, huge Saw guy. I think the Saw franchise is great. I know the later movies are really kind of weird. They're just not as Saw-y, I guess. They focus more just on... I don't even know what they focus on. Everyone's bad. I mean, I'm going to spoil it for you, but guys, these movies have been out for years, decades at that. Like, if you watch the very first movie, the survivor of it, he's a bad dude. And, like, why? Just because he escaped a trap? I don't know. I think they just do that just to add that they could keep on the Jigsaw Killer legacy. I don't know. Fight me in the comments if you want, if you think that's a great idea. I thought it was a good twist. Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, dang. But, like, wait, why? Like, if you go back and actually, like, watch Dr. Gordon when he's chained up, you're like, he has no motivation to turn evil. Just because he escaped. I don't know. But we're talking about the Merrick Murders. We're not talking about Saw. We're talking about the Merrick Murders because this is completely different. But I do like how the killer is off the game until the finale is removed. It allows you to do things, which I absolutely love. Whether that's freeing victims from traps or freeing yourself from traps. For searching item decks. To just kind of trying to free victims. I think it's insane that they left the killer off the board for a little bit. And that gives you time to do things. Because let's face it, if the killer's on the board and you're trying to free people, nah. Then to me, that would be the hardest killer. And I might try that element. I might put her on the board and give her, instead of like, because at the start of her turn, we move the mechanisms one more down on the track. I might have that element, and then I might also have target final girl, move, and attack. I don't know, just to give her some spice. But I think her as a killer is insane. She's awesome. The traps are phenomenal. I don't think they're really I don't think they're overly powered. Like, you don't have to do unrealistic amount to get out of the traps. If there's like 3 traps on the game, like let's say there's 3 victims trapped, if you map it out good, you can free them all. Like, there's some that you're just like, okay, I know for a fact I can't get you. I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna focus on these guys. And that adds strategic element to the game, and I love that. I think this is insane. I do like the map, how you can get on top of the racks, leap across them, climb, all that kind of stuff. It's fun. First time I did play it, though, I won pretty easily. And I'm like, wait, how was it as enjoyable as I thought? I was kind of bummed. Because this was the one I was most anticipated about. And then I tried it again. And I had one of the most cinematic moments of my life playing Final Girl. And I know this probably has happened to tons of you. It's a very basic ending in terms of I, as the final girl, had already had my final health token revealed. I had 2 hearts left. Okay, so I came back alive, and then I got down to 1 life again. Well, as the killer was down to 2 health. I had a knife in my hand. I used a weak attack on the killer. I rolled a 1 success, which, as you know, deals 1 damage plus the extra damage because I did have a knife. So I'm dealing 2 damage to the killer, which in turn will kill the killer, but I'm also taking a damage. So I killed myself, but I got rid of the killer's last 2 health tokens, except the last health token was revealed to have 1 heart. So Tormentor actually escaped that one, and it was really cool. I was actually like glad that the killer won that one. I'm like, that was really cool. That was really, really thematic and cinematic. It was a great gameplay. That was one I actually streamed that one a couple days ago, and it is up on YouTube, and you guys are welcome to watch that one. I highly recommend watching that gameplay. I didn't actually think it was going to go up because the first half, on my end, the streaming, I had to redo it like 5 times because the stream kept randomly stopping all by itself. I had to figure out this whole stupid Wi-Fi crap. It was just garbage. But I didn't actually think... So I have my camera then filming on, and then I have a tablet and a laptop. Both of them were completely frozen. So I'm like, I don't know if it's frozen for you guys, but I'm just going to go through with it. It's not stopping my recording And then when I go back, the actual gameplay, fluid. So I highly recommend going and watch that video on YouTube. It was probably my favorite gameplay that I filmed. So I hope you guys can get a chance to watch that one and be as entertained as I was. But next up is the Panic at Station 2891. I think this one is most people's favorites, or top 5 as well. Everything about this is just insane. Again, I have no ties or connection to the Thing movie. Made me want to go watch the Thing movie. So what did I do? Went and watched the Thing. What is it? It's very identical, and it's phenomenal. The resemblance that they do for these games is insane, but they make them their own, and I love that. But it's the Organism. If you've never played the Organism, most killers, you've got the killer board when you reveal it. It's got the killer. It's got the bloodlust track. Well, this one has a spot for 3 potential killers, and yes, I usually get all 3 out because I don't do very good with this one. But I continuously want to play this one because it's so fun. You're outside in the Arctic, in the snow, in the blizzard, to free victims. You don't just go to an escape location. You fly them off on a helicopter. That helicopter has to move up a track and then come back before you can free more. It's a whole time element. It's a whole strategic element. It's just really, really good. You got the bulldozer for this one that you can use. It's just really cool. And the mutated organisms themselves, quite creepy to look at. Let me see if I can just really quickly show you what they will look like in case you haven't seen, but I'm sure most of you guys have seen what the mutated organisms do look like. You've got that guy, pretty creepy. You've got that guy. And then my personal favorite, say hello to Mr. Bobby. I call him Mr. Bobby. But, yeah, I just think everything about this chapter is very top tier. And I think rightfully so. I think most people would agree with that. Top 3! I did not expect to like this one as much. Now, I do like what it's based off of very, very much. So in that regard, I'm glad I do. That is the Falconwood Files. Based off of Stranger Things. There's a lot to this one. There is a lot of elements, and I do know... So I did stream this one the first time I played it. I did stream it. I won, but I know that I didn't win. Because there was a point where it was just back and forth fighting against the killer. But I wasn't in the other dimension. So technically I could not have been fighting him. And I realized that as soon as I stopped filming or recording, I was like, wait. And that was not the only rules I was getting wrong. If you happen to watch that, I did not post it because of how many times I misplayed, because I'm like, this is not it's not very enjoyable to watch, because if you know how to play it, you're like, oh, you did that wrong, you did that wrong, you did that wrong, you did that wrong. So for that reason alone, I didn't post it. But if you did happen to catch the broadcast, I don't think a lot watched that one, but if you did happen to watch it, it was a disaster. And but in terms of the little objectives or the missions that you have to complete before you can actually win is great. I think going into the mirror dimension, sorry, that's the mirror dimension is what it's called. You've got our dimension, you've got the mirror dimension. So trying to go to the mirror dimension, do things there, come back out before you take damage, I think is what it is. It's a really, really cool element. Very, very Stranger Thingy feel. However, I love that they made the Slayer look like something not out of Stranger Things. I love that they just made it look... This is a Final Girl Slayer. This is phenomenal. Also, the final girl, I can't remember her name. To me, she looks like Angela from Stranger Things season 4, which is funny that she would be. No, I think it's great. I did not expect to enjoy this one as much as I did. I didn't expect to enjoy Series 3 as much as I did. Like, there was some, obviously, the Merrick Murders I was excited about, and I would say I was excited about The Eyeless, because I love Quiet Place. I wasn't sure how to feel about this. I love Stranger Things probably more than any of the franchises I've previously talked about. But I'm like, I just don't know how to feel about it. It's in my top 3. I'll take that flat out. That's how I feel about it. I think it's great. It's so fun to do. I don't know. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend going to play this one today. First, if you get all 5 Series 3, please do this one first. It's so good. It's such a good introductory into like Series 3. Be like, yeah, this is nuts. This is nuts. Falconwood Files are top tier. My top 2. I want to say my number 2 is most people's number 2, or even number 1. And that is the wonderful, wonderful A Knock at the Door. I think this element is so good. I think the mechanics of this, having 3 killers chasing you, but only one being like the active killer at a time, it's just insane. Going around from room to room outside in this cottage, the Vineyard Carnage, or Vineyard Carnage. I've been saying Carnage. Very, very resemblant of the movie, or movies it's based off of, which is great. Another one that's very clear-cut to look at in terms of map. But you obviously do have an inside, and then you obviously have outside. And, I don't know. The whole crafting items thing is disgustingly, amazingly fun. You can go pick up rope. You can go pick up screws or bolts or wood or whatever you got to go pick up. Then you got to search for specific items, and then you can craft different items. You can craft a baseball bat with nails in it. You can go pick up nails somewhere on the map. Then you can go try to search for a baseball bat and put them together. And you got a baseball bat with nails. You can build insane crafting items in this. And I think that's one of the reasons most people like that one, is because of the crafting items thing. It definitely makes me want to do Vanguard Cottage with other killers, just for the crafting material or crafting mechanic alone. Now, if you've been doing the math, you guys will know what my number 1 is. And I actually don't think most people's number 1 is this. I do think people love this one, but I think Into the Void is the most cinematic and thematic feature film they have. I keep saying I love all these franchises, but no, I'm obsessed with the Alien franchise. I've always been obsessed with the Alien franchise. And to me, having this start out as like a hatchling, then go to a youngling, then go to the adult, and having the hatchling actually be like an insane menace, like where it does 10 damage. If you're dumb enough, first turn, also if you're close enough too, you also gotta be kind of close enough to go and try to beat this thing, like as a hatchling, don't do it. But I love that you can get maintenance cards and put them towards different objectives, such as self-destruct. I did a stream on here where I, very much like the movie, blew up the ship. If you haven't watched that one, I highly recommend it as well. It was a great gameplay. Very, very, very cinematic and thematic. I think in terms of element of what they were trying to go for, to me is an absolute S++. To me, I just don't think they get better than Into the Void. I really don't. And I'm very, very biased when it comes to this because of the franchises that I like. But when I play this, I can wholeheartedly know that this is going to be like an Alien movie. And to me, that's why I want to play this one, is because I know every single time is going to be like one of the Alien movies. And I think it's just great. The way they have the Evomorph go off the board and then jump out. He's like climbing in the walls and the ventilation shafts, wherever he is, you know. He's just kind of floating around. The snake attack. It's nuts. I think it's very, very well created. I think it's insane. That is my top 16 ranking series 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, I did not do any of the vignettes. I personally have actually never played any of the vignettes, which I know is crazy. I want to so bad, because I know like what Terror from the Grave is actually most people's favorite like expansion in Final Girl. Like I saw a ranking video where they ranked all of them, feature films and vignettes. Terror from the Grave was their all-time favorite. So I'm like, wait, why have I not played these ones? But I definitely need to get my hands, not a hand, get my hands on the 3 vignettes for series 1, 2, and 3. But that's my list. If you like it, great. If you don't, great. Please comment your lists. Comment things that I may have gotten wrong in your eyes? I would love to hear from you guys. Those that you do support me. I'm not big on YouTube. Even if you're watching this, I don't know why you are, but I just love playing Final Girl, and I think it's really fun to stream it. I filming, but you would look really silly just kind of like talking to yourself. But so to me, it's fun. And those of you who do watch the broadcasts, or even on YouTube, I really, really appreciate it. It really helps. I don't get a lot of views. I don't get a lot of subscribers, and that's totally fine. That's not what. It's just fun to. It's fun to be in a community that is so friendly. I'm part of a couple of Final Girl Facebook pages, and you guys are all so very friendly. I've messaged multiple times about rules and stuff, and you guys are always so helpful in that regard. But yeah, please like, share, and comment on this video. It really does help, and it makes me feel good. Even if you're not liking or subscribing, just commenting. I think it's really fun to have comments with people in the comments section. It's just fun to talk about games like this. I think it's really fun. But thank you guys for tuning in, and let's see. Should we do a what should we do for? Let's make some suspicion. Let's do a. Yeah, let's do. Yeah, no, you know what? We're gonna trick some people. This will be our cover photo. That's what the front of the video is gonna be. So yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe. It does help. Comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. I've said it too much, but please, it helps. Thank you guys so much.